All right, what I'm going to demonstrate here is, I guess it's sort of a hack in how you can get Docker Compose stack files in Portainer updated or refreshed if you have moved from the Portainer Community Edition to the Enterprise Edition. By default, the Enterprise Edition does not automatically just accept the stack files from the Community Edition. So these little orange icons here tell you that the stack was created outside of Portainer, meaning it's the Community Edition, which it was created in. This Portainer platform here is the Enterprise one that's running right now. So control over the stack is limited. Basically, that means that you can't edit it, you can't change anything like that. You can just turn the containers on and off. So what I'm going to do is just show a couple steps that I found that is helpful in at least getting it up and running, as far as ensuring you can get full editing status within the Enterprise Edition from an older or previous Community Edition stack file. So let's start with that. Now I'm going to use the bezel. I think this is a server monitoring container. I'm going to use this as an example for this. So what I normally do is I go into the location where all of these containers are being held, and in this case it's a NAS machine that I have. So I'm going to NAS, and I've looked in the folders where all of my containers are. I'm also going to switch to the terminal, and I'm going to utilize a search term that will identify the name that I'm looking for. So in this instance, this is what I'll use. I'm going to use the find term and the grep term in order to find, like, bezel, for example. I'm going to use this to use a search. After a few seconds, hopefully it will come up with a source. So there it is. It found the Docker Compose file under folder subfolder 68 in Portainer. So what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to look for that specific one under the Portainer Compose subfolder. So that's down here. And I'm going to go into Compose. So I go into 68. Here's a Docker Compose file under that subfolder 68. I will double click this. This is going to bring up a text editor that I use, BB Edit. So there it is. So I'll just bring this down a bit so you can see that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of this, which is the full stack file, the compose file from the previous Portainer Community Edition. I'm just going to minimize this for now. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here. I'm going to go into bezel. Remember now, this Portainer is the Enterprise Edition that I'm working in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop this container. So deactivate this container and its agent. So that's stopped. And then the next thing I'm going to do after that is remove them and any persistent volumes. So I do that. That's now done. If I go into containers, there's no more bezel in here as well. So I go back to stacks. I go to add stack, put in bezel, and then I'll paste the Docker Compose file from my Community Edition, previous Community Edition. Now this is going to initiate a pull, deploy the stack. So I'll just double check that I have everything there and there are no errors showing up for it. So that's great. Deploy the stack. Wait for that to be complete. And we have to do one more step after that, and I'll show you why. Okay, that was successful. Here's bezel that's in here. Now it's interesting because I deleted it and I'd used the same compose file from my Community Edition, but there's this little orange icon here. If I go back into the stack right here, this is telling me that I don't have the latest versions of that image. And so what I need to do here then, now that I have an editor option, before that wasn't there, I click on that, and then I just go down again and I update the stack this time. And now I re-pull the latest image and redeploy and just click update. That's also successful. Now we have green check marks instead of the orange ones, And if I go back into here, there I have a green check mark. And that's how I move a Docker Compose stack file from Community Edition, a previous Community Edition installation of Portainer, into the Enterprise Edition of Portainer.